What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. So I've been using the Pixel 4 for about 3 months now, and in today's video I'm going to share with you my experience using this device for all that time. Now the Pixel 4 was one of the most hated phones in 2019, mostly because it was expensive. I mean, you're looking at about $800 to buy this phone, or about 1,000 Canadian dollars. And for that price, we get a screen that has a 1080p resolution with pretty big bezels all around that screen. We also have 64 gigs of internal storage, which isn't enough. We get a small 2800 mAh battery, not to mention that the phone is lacking an ultra-wide lens. So people didn't exactly like this phone for those reasons, obviously. But is the phone as bad as everyone says? Well, you're definitely gonna find out in this video. So in my case, the phone still looks like new. I mean, I don't have any scratches on the screen. However, I don't keep the phone in my pocket next to keys or anything like that. And I don't use any screen protectors, and I don't have absolutely any scratches on the screen. And the back looks good because I've been using this Google case on the phone ever since I got the phone. Now, the case looks a bit disgusting now, but I'm sure that I can easily wash this and make it look brand new. So after 3 months, the phone still looks like new if you do use it with the case. Without the case, it would probably not be the same situation. Now, one of the things that I really appreciate about this phone are the speakers. So we have dual speakers, one at the top and one at the bottom. And the speakers get extremely loud considering how small the phone is, because this is the Pixel 4, which is the smallest one. Yeah, the speakers sound extremely loud, and probably some of the loudest speakers that I've heard on any mobile device. One of the most controversial things about the Pixel 4 was the screen, and mostly the screen's refresh rates. So the phone can choose between 60Hz and 90Hz by itself, so it really depends what you're doing on the screen, and the phone will decide what's best for that particular content. Now, if you go into developers options, you can force the screen to stay at 90Hz constantly. However, if you do that, you're gonna lose a bunch of battery life. So that's not that greatest thing to do either. Another thing about the screen, even though the colors look good, the blacks are super deep, the screen doesn't get that bright. And if you compare this to any other flagship, well, you're gonna notice that the screen looks kind of dim. And if you take the phone outside in direct sunlight, it is a bit difficult to be seen. And that's not something that usually happens with flagships. So I wish the screen would have been better on the Pixel 4. And next we're gonna hear a quick message from today's sponsor, and we'll be right back talking about the Pixel 4. Today's video was brought to you by Easas Mobile Mover. This is a free iOS data transfer tool between iPhones, iPads and a Windows computer or a Mac. This tool allows you to transfer everything from your iPhone to your computer with one single click. Once the transfer is complete, you can also access everything you have on your iPhone right on your computer, and you can also transfer all that data to a new iPhone or iPad with one single click. So super easy to use. If you want to check out the Mobile Mover tool, there will be a link in the video's description. And now we should go back to our Pixel 4. Now, personally, I can live with a screen and I can manage that 64 gigs of internal storage, even though there isn't that much left after 3 months. And I can probably even do without the ultra-wide lens on the back of this phone. But the one thing that I dislike the most about the Pixel 4 is definitely the battery life. So that 2800 mAh battery that we have inside this one is just not enough. I cannot make it through an entire day ever, like I'm done around 6-7 p.m. So the battery life on the Pixel 4 is definitely not great. I mean, you get somewhere around 4 hours of screen on time, but I kind of need somewhere around 6 hours of screen on time every day. And yes, I know I do use my phone too much every single day. And from battery, moving on to charging. Even though this phone supports fast charging, well, the fast charging is kind of slow charging, and you're still looking at about an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes to fully charge this phone from 0 to 100. So slow charging and the battery life sucks, and that is my biggest disappointment with the Pixel 4. So up until last year, if you wanted the best camera on any smartphone, you'd have to buy a Pixel phone, because all the Pixel phones that we've had up until this one had the best cameras out there, at least for pictures. Well, that kind of changed this year, and this year all the other manufacturers kind of caught up with the Pixel's cameras. So now all manufacturers have a night mode, they all do really good edge detection around subjects and so on. So I'm not gonna say that the cameras on the Pixel 4 are bad, because they're not bad. They're probably in top 3 out there. I think this one is just below the iPhone 11. And I've actually done a couple of comparisons between this and other devices, and there will be some links in the video's description just in case you wanna check those out. So the cameras on the back of this phone are still good, but if you start filming video with the Pixel 4, well, the video quality isn't anywhere as good as the video quality that you'd get from an iPhone 11 or the Samsung Note 10. So the Pixel 4 is just good for pictures now, not so much for videos, but I'm assuming that if you are buying the phone with the best camera, you kind of want to do a bit of both. So the Pixel 4 has good cameras, but there are better options out there in my opinion. And of course, all the pictures that you've just seen are taken by the Pixel 4 and without any editing. And lastly, we are going to talk about performance. Well, I have to say that the phone feels just as fast as it felt on the first day when I first got it. So the phone didn't slow down at all. And I've only seen that with some other Huawei devices, because I did try a bunch of Samsung phones. And with Samsung phones, after a couple of months, the phones, well, they slow down a bit. And I've only experienced that non-slowing down with some Huawei devices. And this one is the same. So if you're concerned about performance, don't be. Every single app that you're gonna have installed on this phone will work great. Now, multitasking could have been better because the phone only has 6 gigs of RAM. So if you have a bunch of apps opened in the background, some of them will have to close and you're gonna have to reopen them. So that is the downside to that 6 gigs of RAM. I guess 8 gigs of RAM would have been ideal. And considering the price of the phone, I think that would have made total sense. But yeah, we get 6 gigs of RAM. So to quickly conclude this video, the phone looks and feels just as it did when I first got it, so after 3 months. On the outside it looks the same, but mostly because I had the case on it. Performance-wise it feels the same, so really no complaints about it. The cameras are pretty decent on the back and on the front. And even though it's missing that ultra-wide lens, personally I don't take any pictures with the ultra-wide lens with any phone, so not a big deal that it's missing that. I always find the optical zoom more important than the ultra-wide, but again, everybody has different opinions. The thing that I really dislike about this phone is the battery life. If this phone would have had like a 3500 mAh battery inside, then it could actually make it through an entire day. It would actually be a very nice phone. It's small enough that it can fit in your palm. It's a good looking phone overall. Well, mostly the back, not the front so much. But overall it's a good phone that should have had a better and bigger battery life. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, don't forget to press that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.